Hi, welcome to Tampon Talk with Mary. Welcome to the show that only airs once a month. You know, I was thinking about it, and I don't know if I have a quick story. I just got my bangs back, but you know, emotionally I'm fine. I just really liked how I looked in bangs. I'm also straightening my teeth, so I kind of might sound a little muffled, but what's weird is that there's now blood coming out of more than one place in me now. Like, I didn't anticipate for how much, like, blood would be coming out of my mouth on a regular basis. So that's a little gross, but it's all good. Anyway, I'm really, really excited for this episode. I got to sit down and talk with Miyoshi. She's from New York, and she is the creator and founder of Hate the Dot. So it's a period subscription service and the service that works to both get period products accessible to your door, but also period products that are accessible to those that don't have a door. So she's done a lot of work with the city of New York to fight the homeless problem and get women access to period products that they need. So this is a really, really cool interview. But yeah, so hope you enjoy it, and let's get right into it.
I totally appreciate your platform, because, you know, it's basically the more you know, the more people that are speaking about this, about, you know, tampons and periods in general, and educating communities about periods and, you know, period poverty and, you know, different things that we talk about, fertility, women's health in general. It's just really important. And so for me, Hate the Dot, you know, it's basically, I'll give you an overview of what it is. Hate the Dot is a monthly subscription service that caters to your menstrual period. And we provide 100% organic cotton pads and/or tampons of your choice. And then there's also products that you can add on to your package that's delivered to you every month. So you can add on, you have disposable heating pads, you can have flushable wipes, you can have tea that helps with cramps, and other things that really help you turn your menstrual cycle to a self-care ritual. And that's kind of like our tagline.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And what we really pride ourselves on is really helping the fight towards helping end period poverty. And so this past December, we had a holiday packing party where we worked with different organizations, and we got a bunch of product donations as well as monetary donations, and we were able to pack over 200 period and hygiene packs for homeless women here in New York City. And we got pads, we got tampons, we got wipes, we got soap, we got deodorant, and we were able to deliver it to the shelters. And, you know, one of the things that they were saying, you know, there are so many women here who appreciate things like this. You know, as a shelter, one of the first things in our budget to get cut are vital hygiene products, especially pads and tampons, and a lot of people don't think about donating them. And so it's really important that we have organizations that donate them. And so that's really a part of our mission. Hate the Dot is kind of going through a change right now. When you mentioned that woman who was doing the app and she had, you know, some things come up or setbacks that happen or problems happen, and that's kind of where Hate the Dot is right now. We were supposed to launch officially in October of 2019, but we had some drama with the FDA.
Oh no!
So, yeah, it's a lot. We could probably talk about it on the podcast. We had some drama with the FDA, and basically we had drama with the FDA and our supplier. So they basically held 6,000 units of our products at customs from the FDA. And I got a letter in the mail about 2 weeks before our launch. And I can laugh about it now because it's actually a crazy story. But at the time, it was very frustrating because, you know, we were planning our launch. We're planning our website. We were planning our launch party. We were planning all of these things that we're going to move forward. But then, you know, this happened. And so Hate the Dot has kind of taken a break, and that we are going to relaunch in the summer of 2020. So right now we're just prepping for launch. We're looking for a new supplier, making sure we have all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed, and making sure that everything that we do moving forward is of the best quality and things like that. In the meantime, we are having, like I mentioned, the packing parties, and we're working with different organizations and social groups where we might work with different corporate companies and their diversity and inclusion sectors, or, different things like that, different parts of the company like that, where we talk about period poverty and how it affects, a bunch of women and girls in the city. Like, for example, 134,000 girls missed school last year, 2019, because their families couldn't afford basic period hygiene products for them. And so they had to miss school, or, just homeless women in general, homeless girls and women in the city have to use different products, like when they don't have access to these products, what they have to use instead. And so just spreading awareness about things like that, and really just helping organizations really come together, and maybe doing a volunteering day, and, helping us pack these period products. And we've partnered with a homeless shelter here in New York City, and so every time we have a packing party, the products that we pack go towards their residents. And so that's what we're doing. That's what our focus is right now for the first quarters of 2020. And so in the summer we plan on relaunching, where we have our full subscription service. But right now that's what we're doing. So when I mentioned I wanted to give you an update on what's going on in 2020, that's kind of what I had in mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was a lot that I just said.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's, and, when you were mentioning, like, dealing with stuff with the FDA, like, we had, so we talked about eSure on the show. It was a birth control device that got grandfathered into the FDA, and then it led to over 45,000 women being affected by the negative effects of eSure, and it was approved through the FDA. So it's like this thing that it's stopping period products from getting where they need to go, but it's also allowing products that are harmful to women to be approved by the FDA. So it's I totally get you. But I love how you're filling the time with, and like this awareness of getting, like, accessibility, and that it defies like economic class, and that it's not just for the upper class people to having the luxury of having their period products sent to their door. It's bringing awareness to the whole thing of accessibility, which I love.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about. And my thing that I go back to every single time is the more you know. And so, we go to these organizations and we speak to everyone. We speak to men and women, and a lot of people are saying, wow, I just had no idea that this was going on right under my nose here in New York City, or just in general. And last year, I don't know if you knew, but last year we were part of National Period Day, which was on October 19th, and we were one of the co-hosts for the New York City rally, and we led that at City Hall along with the Period organization. And people, I was able to do a speech and, talk to people afterwards. And so many people, time and time again, they said, I just didn't know that this was going on. So it's all about awareness and just spreading that awareness. And so when you can partner with different organizations, or just get the word out and just speak to people face to face and help them understand, like, period poverty is real and it's happening. And this is how you can help. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And because you're totally right. Like, people aren't, especially in a first world country where the amount of, like, inaccessibility is crazy. But oh my gosh, I don't think if we said your full, we did the little intro, just the brief introduction on yourself. We did talk about the company, but tell us a little bit about you. We totally just skipped over that.
Yeah, me. I'm not as interesting as Hit the Bat.
What?
No. I go by Miyoshi. My full name is Janice Miyoshi Days. I don't know if you can hear me. My phone is acting crazy.
No, you're good.
Okay, yeah. I basically started Hate the Dot with an idea because I used to get really bad menstrual periods, and it started back in 2015, which is crazy. It's like 5 years ago, and I get really bad periods. Like, I've just have traumatic stories of period horror stories. Like passing out on the 6th train platform in New York City, or getting my very first period in 6th grade on my first day of school, wearing khaki pants, and having a male teacher.
Oh no!
Just a lot of crazy stories. But no, I started this because I get really bad periods, and I was home one day, had my period, and I had nothing. Like, I had run out of pads or tampons. I had nothing to deal with it. And my dad, he was running errands that day, and I called him up and I said, "Hey, Dad, can you please run to the drugstore for me to get these things? Like, I would appreciate it so much." And he said, "Yeah, sure." He went out and he got products, but when he came home, like, it was all of the wrong products. And so I said, okay. I thought to myself, you have all of these companies, all of the subscription models that you can basically get literally anything you want at your doorstep. You can get dinner, you can get clothes, you can get makeup, you can get beauty products, you can get everything shipped to your house, and it caters to every single experience, but nothing caters to the full menstrual period experience. And, taking that time of the month where you just feel not your best, and taking that and transforming it into something empowering, and that's really what I wanted to do. And so that's kind of where the story of Hate the Dot came from. Aside from being a founder, I just started working at a marketing tech company in New York City. I used to work in education. I just have a bunch of different experiences living here in New York City. But that's just, that's the gist about me. My heart is really for social good and social impact. I love working with young women. I love specifically working with homeless young women and girls. And that's kind of why I decided to make that such a huge point in Hate the Dot's life, working with homeless women and girls who don't have access to these products. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's something that I think a lot of people are getting onto now, but there needs to be, more people talking about, home, like, because we've kind of talked about it on the show a little bit before, but just the stigma on top of stigma, where, say there's already a stigma about, women and feminism, and there's a stigma about homelessness and a stigma about periods, and it's like the more that those combine, the less that we're talking about it. So we need people like you that are kind of cutting through all of those stigmas, and then, using a platform that you have for good, which is awesome. So you were kind of telling us a little bit of like things to look forward to with Hate the Dot, but I love your experiences, and I love what your company and your organization is doing. This is kind of a little bit aside from some preset questions we had. Is there like a major highlight that you have, like this moment in doing your work is unforgettable? Like, is there one that comes to mind?
Absolutely. I would say, there's been a few, but the most recent one was this past December when we had just finished the packing party. I had the privilege of working with a wonderful organization in New York City called Elevate Network, and one of my mentors is the CEO of that, Chrissy Wallace, and we partnered with Elevate Network, which is basically a company that helps women network, professional women network here in New York City as well as around the nation, and they have different chapters and they have different events where you can just basically go and ask for professional advice, like how to negotiate for a better salary, or just how to be a better professional woman in your workplace. And so we partner with Elevate Network, and as well as partnering with Win NYC, which we have a standing partnership with, where they have a bunch of different homeless shelters around New York City. And we had a packing party, and I was able, myself and the partners, we were able to pack over 200 packages for Win NYC's residents.
Oh, wow.
And the next day, I took all of those 200. My dad and I packed up the car and we drove those 200 packages to Wynn's offices in Lower Manhattan. And it was around the holiday season, so the office was pretty empty. And I met up with the people, and I went to, I don't even know her title, but she might have been like the regional director or whatever her title was. And she just looked at me. She was just like, thank you so much. Like, you have no idea what impact this is going to do. And, you know, there are just so many women who you're helping today. And it almost brought me to tears because, like, of course, you know, you want to do this good, you want to help the community, but when you actually see, like, where it's going to go and how it's going to help people, it kind of just brings, I don't know, emotion to me. And I would just say that was the most impactful moment I've had recently with Hate the Dot, just because the packing party was just, that specific one was just so, like, we pulled it together so quickly. And so I wasn't sure how much packages we were going to pack, and my goal was only to pack 100, and we doubled that goal. And so it was just so impactful. I would say that was the most impactful moment that I've had recently.
That's so cool. And I love your dad's involvement. Like,
my dad is my homie. Like, we're very close. So yeah, my dad is very involved in Hate the Dot. Every time we go out or I'm doing an event or something, he's always there, and he prides himself and, like, he's like, I'm the reason Hate the Dot exists, which is not true. So he always jokes about that. But yeah, my dad is very, very supportive.
That's so cool. Like, I feel like I've tried for a really long time to get my dad to come on this podcast, and I think it's just I guess it's not his generation, clearly, but, like, there's people getting through it and being like, you know, it's okay to talk about these things, and it's okay to be involved.
Absolutely okay. And I mean, that's, you know, at first my dad was like, oh, I don't want to, you know, he would call my period, like, you know, your thing, or just something that's not personal at all. And, you know, I've coached him and, like, Dad, you know, you can say period. You know, it's okay to have this conversation. You know, you have 2 daughters and you have a wife. So, you know, it's okay for you to talk about this.
Yeah.
And so, you know, over the years, seen him become more comfortable using the word period and menstrual period, and being able to hold conversations with other women and talk about periods. And so it's really, really amazing to see. Just like I said, just having conversations with everyone and bringing that awareness full circle for any person, you know, menstruator or not, to really be empowered to have that knowledge about menstruators in general.
That's so cool. Wow. Like, yeah, and I agree. I'm sorry, I'm like, there's nothing I could add to say to be like, oh yeah, and this, you said it so well. Like, yeah. We're so excited for Hate the Dot. Is there any, like, do you want to plug your social media? Like, where can we continue following you on this journey?
Absolutely, yeah. My social media, you can find me personally at Miyoshi Days. My Instagram is, I can spell it for you, Miyoshi, last name Days, but it's all one word, Miyoshi Days. Mm-hmm. And you can also follow Hate the Dot on Instagram. It's just Hate the Dot. And so yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. Oh, and we're so excited and, like, excited for your launch in the summer. And totally open invitation if you want to come back at the launch and, you know, update us on everything. We want to be a resource for you to just, you know, promote all the great things that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm totally down to come back on. Like, I saw that you guys did an interview with Chelsea Von Chaz from, you know, Happy Period. And I worked with Chelsea while I was with her when she did a packing party at Google a few months ago, which was really fun. So yeah, I'm totally down to come back on and talk about period poverty or just periods in general. Like, I just love the mission that you guys are doing, and I mean, who doesn't have a period story, you know?
Yeah.
Who doesn't have a period story? Like, we all have period stories, so it's really, like, a really great bonding experience, I find, that every time I bring up periods, it's always a great conversation.
Yeah, you're right. It's the one thing we all have, and like even with like say like people who don't have periods that come on the show, like they are more interested to talk about it, which is good because you know if everybody's talking about it,
absolutely,
there's no more stigma, which is the whole point.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, this has been so great. Let me do a little, we'll do a little tampon talk send off for listeners, and then if you want to stick around for a sec after I cut the audio, I can properly thank you again.
Okay.
But this has been so awesome. Tampon Talk listeners, this has been so great. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thank you.
And if we'll be sharing and reposting and keeping up with Hate the Dot, so you can find us at Tampon Talk WMary on Twitter, or Tampon Talk WMary on Twitter and Instagram. Where if you got email, you got questions, tampontalkwithmary@gmail.com. Lots of exciting things. If you're a bleeder, keep on bleeding. It's gonna be okay. Life is good. You've got great organizations to help you out. Thanks for being you, and we'll see you next time with Tampon Talk with Mary. Bye.